Sorry, I thought my mic was unmuted then. Welcome back to another video today then on Football League Central. Today, obviously last night, Matt, we did our group stage predictions on who we think will qualify for the round of 32 and which 8 best third place teams will also qualify. Today, it gets down to the most toughest part of the predictions now of the World Cup, and it is trying to predict each match day. Starting off then with Group A. Obviously, today we are only predicting match day 1 of the World Cup. So, Group A then starting off with the opening ceremony game, then Mexico versus South Africa. Head-to-head was one draw in there, which were obviously back in 2010. Back in 2010 then, where Marquez was on the score sheet, and I'm not going to pronounce that name. So, yeah, Mexico obviously favourite. Yeah. Mexico, you'd expect to win this game. They are 49 to win, 18-5 for the draw, 17-2 for the South Africa win. This is an 8 p.m. UK time game as well. It's going to be interesting to see this game, to be fair. Opening game, Mexico, host nation here. But will they have home advantage? Matt?
Yeah, I think this is a good opening game to have to kick off a World Cup. Just like in 2010 when they faced each other when the World Cup was in South Africa. And I remember that game sort of South Africa equalised quite late on with Tasha Balala. But I think with Mexico being a host, and I think everyone wants to see like host nations do well, whoever hosts the World Cup, whenever. And I just think they might have too much quality over South Africa. So I'll give South Africa a go, but I'll go 2-1 Mexico.
Yeah, on the same line as you, obviously looking at the Mexican squad that has obviously been called up for the World Cup. You've got the likes of Edson Alvarez in there, Mateo Chavez in there, Luis Chavez in there, Raul Jimenez, Alexis Vega. Then you've got Santiago Gimenez there as well. They've got a pretty strong team, and I do think they're going to have well too much in the tank against South Africa here. Home advantage for Mexico, 3-0 for this game for me. I just think they've got way too much quality in that team over South Africa. Moving on then to the next game. If it wants to load. Does it want to load or something? Anyways, moving on to the next game, and it's South Korea up against Czechia. Then this is a 3 a.m. start in the UK on Friday morning, also in Group A. Now, this one is good. You'd expect it to be a really close game. Patrick Schick always turns up. It might not have been his goal scoring self for club as of late, but and I could be wrong about that. But when he comes to Czechia here, he is on form. Versus Heung-min Son and South Korea, though, obviously one win in their head-to-head for South Korea. And that was back in 2016, a 2-1 win for South Korea in just a friendly game. Obviously, more is at stake this time round. Matt?
Yeah, I think this game will be another close one, and I think this will be a battle of who finishes above whoever. And like you said, South Korea have got a few good players like Heung-min Son, Kim Min-jae are back, a few good European players, which we both probably see play. And Czech Republic, we also got a good band squad. Patrick Schick up front. Also know a few good players who play around the European. But I don't think there's really much to separate the two, so I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Okay, yeah. Before I do forget, it is a 7-4 for the South Korea win, 94 for the draw, and 19-10 for the Czech Republic win here. Again, as I've not long mentioned as well as you have, South Korea have got quite a few really good players. They've got obviously you wouldn't class him as really good, but Hwang Hee-chan is well known for South Korea as well, from Wolves. They've got Heung-min Son, which is the most notable one there. They've got that Pike from Birmingham in there as well. Hwang In-boin from Feyenoord. I know I'm going to mispronounce some of these names. Bay Junior from Stoke. So they have got a really decent squad. And again, coming up against Czech Republic, who obviously has Patrick Schick up front for them. It's not going to be easy for either team. What did you go with?
I went for a 1-1.
You're going 1-1. In that case, I'll go with a 2-2 draw for this game then. Moving on then to Group B. Group B then. The first game we're going to be going through in Group B is another host nation, Canada versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is an 8 p.m. kickoff then, UK time, on Friday. These two doesn't seem to have a head-to-head then. So we'll jump straight into the odds on this game. Then it is a 17-20 for the Canada win, 11-4 for the draw, and 19-5 for the away win. Obviously, as we mentioned last night, Bosnia ended up beating Wales and Italy in order to qualify for this group. Canada do have some notable players. Jonathan David in there, Alphonso Davies as well. But can Bosnia beat Canada in their home when they're one of the host nations here in this World Cup? Matt?
Yeah, I think this will be quite a close game. I know Canada hosts, but I'm sure like one of them may slip up in a game or two, and Canada could, as I think out of Mexico and USA, they probably haven't got as good a squad as any of them. I know they got players like Jonathan Davids and Alphonso Davis, but I think they rely too much on them, and overall in a squad, I don't think it's like it'll work as well as the other two in a way. So I do think they'll still get through to the round of 32, but I think this game it'll be hard against Bosnia, who did well to beat Italy and Wales. But I think Canada will win this game, and I'll go for a 2-1 victory for Canada.
Yeah, the only real noticeable name for Bosnia, and I didn't even believe that he was actually at the World Cup until I've just checked, Edin Dzeko. With him aging now, is he going to be at his best self? Did well to help Bosnia get this far into the World Cup in the first place. But yeah, I can't see them getting anything against Canada here. I don't think it'll be really close and a really tight game. Should Bosnia score, I do think Edin Dzeko, you've got to back Dzeko to be the one to get the goal. But I don't think Bosnia gets a goal this game. I'm going for a 1-0 to Canada. Moving on then to the next game then. Where's the other Group B? And it is Qatar versus Switzerland then on Saturday at 8 p.m. Qatar were the only win head-to-head against each other. And that was back in 2018. Again, another friendly there. 1-0 to Qatar in that game. 14-1 for the Qatar win, 3-13 for the Switzerland win, and 11-2 for the draw. Switzerland, they've got a really good team. They've got the likes of Granit Xhaka in there and Bolo. But the only one that I can remember who plays for Qatar is that Afif or Achraf Afif, something like that. So it's going to be interesting. Like at the last World Cup, when obviously Qatar hosted, I think back in 2021, something like that, or 2024, something like that. I can't remember the last time they actually hosted it. Was it 2020?
2022.
Yeah. I knew it was somewhere around there. Yeah, they didn't do really great there, and there was a host nations. I can't see them to get, like we both predicted last night, Qatar finishing bottom of the group. I do think it starts off here. Matt?
Yeah, I think Switzerland's got a fairly easy game to kick off a tournament. I don't really see much in Qatar. They obviously did poor in the last World Cup, which they hosted, and I don't really expect them to do anything in this World Cup either. And Switzerland have got a much better balanced squad and overall spare players in general, much more quality in that team compared to Qatar. So I think Switzerland to win 3-0.
Okay, yeah, I can't see Qatar getting a goal here either. It's a friendly, it's a meaningless game that they won last time. I mean, anyone can turn, unless you're San Marino, anyone can actually turn out and win a friendly game. So yeah, I'm going. You've gone 3-0, did you say?
Yeah.
I'll go 2-0 Switzerland. Moving on then to the next game. If it wants to come up again. And we're moving on then to Group C, which starts off with Brazil up against Morocco. This is a Saturday 11 p.m. kickoff. One win apiece then. The most recent one being 2023, and it was a 2-1 win for Morocco in a friendly. And then the time before that was in the 98 World Cup, and it was a 3-0 win for Brazil. The odds for this game is a 7-10 for the Brazil win, 29-10 for the draw, and 23-5 for the Morocco win. Matt?
Yeah, I think this is a tough first game for Brazil. Morocco did really well in the last World Cup, which I don't think many people expect them to do as good as they did. And of course, they won the Africa Cup of Nations against Senegal. And they've got some really good players in the team, especially Hakimi. Even got decent players like Mazraoui, and I think Ziyech still plays for him. And our striker, I can't remember his name, but he plays in the Spanish league. I don't know if he still does or not, but overall we got a good squad. Can definitely cause Brazil some issues, but although I think it'll be close, I just see Brazil nicking it maybe towards the end of the game. So I'll say 2-1 Brazil.
Okay, yeah. As you've mentioned, some of the names, obviously, Achraf Hakimi, currently at PSG. They've got Mazraoui at Man United in there. They've got Bono, who was arguably their best player at the last World Cup, in goal there. Just looking down here as well, they've also got Issa Diop from Fulham in the squad. They've got that Riyad from Crystal Palace. Amrabat in there, Brahim Diaz. Looking further down here, Al Kanusi, Leicester City winger in there, on loan at Stuttgart in there. Talby from Sunderland in attack. I don't know what striker you might be on about.
I think his name
Rahimi.
was El Nusi. Nah, it was El
Ezalouni.
Nusi. Yeah, him.
Yeah, from Real Betis. Yeah. So Morocco has actually got a really good squad. Hakim Ziyech doesn't look like he's been called up to the World Cup squad. I can't see his name down here. So he was actually one of the better players as well in the last World Cup. So that could be a massive loss. They have still got a really pretty decent squad in there. To the Brazil squad, who obviously has got Rafinha in there, Neymar, Vinny Jr. So it is a really tough game for Brazil on the opening match day as well. What did you go with, Matt?
I said 2-1 Brazil.
Okay. Tough game to start the World Cup. And I'm going to start it off with a 1-1 draw for Brazil. Move on then to the next game. And it is going to be Haiti up against Scotland in this one. Surely you'd expect a Scotland win. Scotland obviously having John McGinn, Andy Robertson, Scott McTominay. Who do they have up front? Shankland, I think it is. Shea Adams. The main talking point is, though, no Ollie McBurney, the most informed Scottish striker. So, yeah, no Ollie McBurney for the World Cup. Let's have a look at the odds. And it is 6-1 for the home win, 15-4 for the draw, and 8-15 for the Scotland win. And they haven't got a head-to-head before. So, Matt.
Yeah, I think Scotland should win this game. I think we got a better squad overall than Haiti, and of course, this is Haiti's first World Cup, so you don't really know what to expect of them. Haven't really got a good squad, but fair play to him for qualifying. The other two players who I know is Isidore from Sunderland and Bellegarde, midfielder. The rest, not really heard of any of them. So them two are decent players, and Isidore can probably get a goal or two in the tournament, but overall, I think Scotland to win this. 2-0 Scotland.
Yeah, you'd expect them to get the win. I'm just looking down the Haiti's squad now. They've got that Bellegarde from Wolves in their squad as well. Obviously Wilson Isidore in there. So yeah, they've not got a really great squad. Obviously Scotland do have by far the better squad out of the two, but I can just see Wilson Isidore getting a goal somehow. Probably getting the opening goal early on for Haiti. But yeah, I think Scotland will have too much. What did you go with, Matt?
2-0 Scotland.
2-0, yeah. I'm going to go with 3-1 Scotland. Moving on then to the next game. And we're on Group D now, and it's USA up against Paraguay. Then we're going on to the third and final host nation. 2 wins for Paraguay, 4 wins for the USA. The most recent one coming back in 2025 in a friendly, and it was a 2-1 win for the USA. Before that, it was a 1-0 win for the USA in the 2018 But the most meaningful one was back in 2016 Copa America, where it was USA coming out with a 1-0 win over Paraguay, whilst being down to 10 men. The odds for this game then is a 1-1 for the USA win, 5-2 for the draw, and 16-5 for the Paraguay win. Yeah. Matt.
Yeah, I think USA never host nation. A lot of people expect them to top this group. Even though Turkey have got a really good squad themselves, advantage is always with a host in the World Cup. And I think this game, it'll be quite tight against Paraguay, who did well in the qualifiers. Got a few decent defenders, Paraguay, and I think our Roque Santa Cruz is playing this World Cup, and he's like 41 now, so fair play to him. Yeah, I think with a host advantage, I think USA nick this. I'll say 1-0.
Yeah, Paraguay do have some notable names in there. They've got Miguel Almiron, formerly of Newcastle, as well as Julio Enciso of Brighton, I think it is, who was on loan at Strasbourg, I think it was. So yeah, they've got some decent players in there. Them two are just two of the noticeable names that I just read out. But again, do they have a better squad than the USA? Most people will probably say yes. I don't think they do. And I do think USA walks away with the win and the 3 points. What did you say again, Matt?
I say 1-0 USA.
Yeah, I'll go. I was going to go 1-0. I'll go 2-1 to the USA then. Moving on then to the next game and the second match in Group D, and it is Australia up against Turkey. This game is on Sunday at 5 a.m. Then doesn't look like these two have got head-to-head meaningful ones, so we'll jump straight into it then at the odds, and it is a 9-2 for the Australia win, 11-4 for the draw, and 3-4 for the Turkey win. Matt?
Yeah, I think this would be another close game. Australia, we got Harry Suter, of course. I think he's still at Leicester, I believe, or he might have moved, but he was on loan to another team last season.
Yes.
But Matt Ryan, who used to play for Brighton, we got a few decent players. But Turkey, I think a lot of people are talking about some of their players, Kanoglu, few of the decent players they got, and people are expecting to do quite well, especially in the Euros about 4 years ago. But I can definitely see Australia causing some issues for Turkey. We definitely won't make it easy for them, but I think Turkey have got a bit of a better squad in Australia. So, like the America and Paraguay game, I go for a 1-0 Turkey.
Okay, yeah, a few more noticeable names up in the Australia team. We've got Cameron Burgess, I think formerly or is at Ipswich Town. They got Nestroy Irankunda from Watford in there, and Mohamed Toure from I think it's Norwich City in there as well. So they have got a really decent team in there, and I am going to back them to get a point in this game. I'm not underestimating Turkey. Obviously, people will be having them as their dark horses for this tournament to get far. I don't think they will do as good as people actually think. I do think they'll get out of the groups, obviously, and I do think they'll get to round of 16 at least. But yeah, I'm going with I'll go with a 0-0 draw for this one. A boring one, but yeah, a 0-0. Moving on then to the next game, and what game are we on now? Germany versus Curacao, and surely this has got to be the most easiest game to predict of the group stages. I'll say that now, and Curacao will probably end up beating Germany, just like Saudi Arabia when they beat Argentina. No head-to-heads then. It is obviously Sunday, 6 p.m. kickoff for this game. 1-20 for the Germany win, 55-1 for the Curacao win, 20-1 for the draw. Matt?
Yeah, on paper, Germany should ease past Curacao, but Curacao have actually had a few decent friendly victories against teams like Serbia. Although I do think they lost to Tunisia in one of the friendlies, so we could definitely win games. But they have, lost to Scotland too. But yeah, it's really unknown with Curacao being their first World Cup. How they actually do. A lot of people, including myself, think they'll finish bottom, which would like to be proven wrong, but I still think they'll get out of this group in even third place, which is unfortunate. But Germany, they're never team who can make things hard for themselves. Like they're not really like they were like 10 years ago, or even longer now, like Philip Lahm, Klose, Goethe. The attack, I don't think is amazing, like top tier. Of course, they got like Timo Werner, Sane. They have got Musiala in midfield, but they haven't really got much quality up front, which could cost us a certain point in this tournament. And I think Curacao could maybe cause an issue or two. I could see him maybe getting an early goal, which will shock Germany, but I think in the end, Germany will win this. So I'll go 3-1 Germany.
Okay, yeah, Curacao has actually got a pretty decent midfield. They've got Tahis Chong from Sheffield United, and then they've got the Bakuna brothers, Junior and Leandro Bakuna. So they have actually got a pretty decent midfield. I won't say they've got the worst midfield in the World Cup, but they have. And then they've obviously got that Hansen from Middlesbrough in attack as well. Again, same as you, I can probably see Curacao maybe going 1-0 up early on. And I do think from then, Germany will just be obviously counter-attacking, trying to counter-attack and just pressure, and be frustrated from Curacao, where it's 1-0 half time, and then just 2 late goals from Germany gets a 2-1 win. So I'm going 2-1 Germany. Moving on then to the next game then, and the last game in that group, which is Ivory Coast versus Ecuador then. Again, doesn't seem like they've got a head-to-head to go through, so we'll just jump straight into it for the odds. And it is 13-5 for the Ivory Coast win, 90-10 for the draw, and 6-4 for the Ecuador win. This game is on Monday, the 15th of June at midnight as well, UK time. Matt?
Yeah, I think this would be quite a tough game to call. Of course, I think both these nations will be aiming to finish above one another and go through with Germany. If you're comparing the teams, I really don't think there's much between the two. I think they could easily cancel each other out. Ecuador obviously got more high talented players like Caicedo, but Estupinan, Hincapié, and Pacho. But I don't think their attack is amazing, so that's where Ivory Coast could take advantage of it. We've got players like Diallo, Ivory Coast, so they got a few decent players themselves. Yeah, like I mentioned about cancelling each other out, I think that'll actually happen. So I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Okay. Yeah, again, this game's going to be really close. Ivory Coast, more notable names. We've got Simon Adingla, I believe he's of Sunderland. Amadiola, as you mentioned. Nicolas Pepe. Gisand from Palace. They've also got Dewey, his brother, playing for them as well.
Fullback.
obviously scored against France, I think, not long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so both have got some really good players in that squad. I can see Ivory Coast edging this one out though. And you know what? I'll go with my first high scoring game. I'll go 3-2 to the Ivory Coast. Moving on then to the next group then. And starting off with then the Netherlands versus Japan. Obviously, I predicted Netherlands to finish third in their group. One draw and two wins for the Netherlands in the head-to-head. Most recent one is a 2-2 draw back in 2013. But at the 2010 FIFA World Cup, it was a 1-0 win for the Netherlands. If we have a look at the odds, then 11-4 for the Japan win, 11-4 for the draw, and 11-10 for the Netherlands win. Again, this is a really tough match to actually go and predict here, Matt.
I think Netherlands will probably slip up in a game or two this tournament and make it hard for themselves. That's why I predicted them to come second. But yeah, the team we're playing against Japan, this is actually a team I think will win the group. And they got quite a good squad, Japan. It's quite unfortunate they're missing Matoma from Brighton, but overall I think they got a decent squad and it didn't do too bad in the last World Cup. Netherlands, similar to Germany, are just not really the same like it wasn't like a 2010 or 2014 World Cup with like Van Persie, Robben. They're on a little bit of decline, but they have got some talented players like De Jong. You could say Gakpo, even though he's had a poor season in Liverpool. Marlon, Van Dijk's still there, so we still got decent players. Very unfortunate that they're missing Xavi Simons through an injury, as he was our best player in the last tournament. But I just think Japan will nick this, and I'll say 2-1 Japan.
Yeah, I'm on the right lines here. Obviously, I predicted Netherlands to finish third for a reason. Yeah, they might have on paper the better squad out of the two, but on the pitch they never perform to the standards that they should be. I can see Japan winning this game quite comfortably. 2-0 to Japan.
Did Netherlands call up that Brian Brobbery from Sunderland?
So say that again.
Do you know? Did they call up that Brian Brobbery from Sunderland? He scored quite a few goals for him this season or last.
Yeah, they've got Brian Broby, they've got Daniel Marlin, Noah Lang, Cody Gakpo, Memphis Depay, Reg Horst, and Justin Kluivert as all their attackers there. Obviously, Somerville in there as well. Gravenberch. So yeah, on paper, you'd expect them to beat Japan quite comfortably, but again, they never perform to the standards that they should be on pitch. But again, it could go either way this game. Obviously, we're both going for a Japan win. Who's in their group now? Sweden, Tunisia. Now, I'll try taking the Wednesday bias out of this game with Jan Valery and Tunisia here. It does not look like they've got a head-to-head to look into. So let's have a look at the odds. And it's a 7-2 for the Tunisia win, 5-2 for the draw, and 19-20 for the Sweden win. Again, on paper, you'd expect Sweden to walk away with the win and all 3 points in this game. A really early one on Monday as well, 3 a.m. Matt?
Yeah, I think on paper Sweden should win this game comfortably against the Tunisia side who I don't think are anywhere near Sweden's level. Sweden got a few good players which I like, Gyökeres, Isak, Bergvall, Elanga, even though he's had a poor season in Newcastle, Gibbonson from Leeds. So we got a pretty good squad overall, which just really depends if they can gel together. I know Isak scored quite a few goals recently for him, and I think this game, I do think they will ease past Tunisia. So I'll give Tunisia a go, but I'll say 3-1 Sweden.
Yeah. Again, I'll try taking my Wednesday bites out of this with a Wednesday player in that team of Tunisia. The only one that you really need to know about of the name that playing for Tunisia is them. Obviously, they've got Hannibal Mesby as well of Burnley in that squad there as well. Again, did you go 3-1 Sweden?
Yeah.
Again, I do think Sweden gets the win here. Obviously, imagine they play a 4-4-2 or something like that with two up front, and you have Isak and Gyökeres as a strike partnership. That strike force could actually what's it called? Put some goals in the tournament. I'll go 3-0 Sweden. Moving on then to the next game. It is Group G then. Belgium up against Egypt is the first game here. Then one win apiece for these two in the head-to-heads. The most recent one in 2022 was a 2-1 win for Egypt in a friendly, and also in a friendly was a 3-0 win for Belgium back in 2018. The odds for this game is a 4-6 for the Belgian win, 29-10 for the draw, and 92 for the Egypt win. Then, Matt.
Yeah, I think for Belgium, this is a game they should be looking at winning. Egypt have already got Marmouche and Salah. I still think it's on the same level as Belgium, even though they're on a slight decline from recent years, and we don't really reach to expectations that people probably think they should. So I don't really see Belgium getting that far in this tournament, but I still think Egypt will cause them that much issues. So I'll say 2-0 Belgium.
Yeah, look at this squad again. No notable names apart from obviously Salah and Omar Mamouche. I can't see them troubling Belgium either. I can't see Belgium getting really far in this. I can see them obviously getting out of the groups. I can potentially see them getting past the round of 32s, but obviously it all depends who they get in the round of 16, whether they get past it or not. I can see them win this game quite comfortably. I'll go 4-0 to Belgium. Moving on then to the next game. And it is also in the same group. Iran versus New Zealand then. Now, I believe you had Iran finishing third in the group. I've got New Zealand, I believe, finishing second or third in the group. Again, no head-to-heads to go through, so we'll just jump straight into the odds then. It is a 19-20 for the Iran win, 5-2 for the draw, and 7-2 for the New Zealand win. All you need to know is Chris Wood up front. Surely he bags a couple of goals against Iran, Matt.
Yeah, I think overall, I think this game will be quite close, even though Iran are predicted to finish above New Zealand. I could actually go either way. But I think this game will be really tight, and I don't really see there being many goals in this game, but I can see both teams cancel each other out, and for prediction, I say 1-1 and Chris Wood will probably score for New Zealand.
Okay, yeah, this game, I'll go I'll go with New Zealand win. Chris Wood to get a brace. 2-0 to New Zealand. Moving on then to the next game then. What group was we on then? Group G.
Yeah.
Believe we're moving on to Group H then next, and it's Spain up against Cape Verde. Again, Cape Verde, pretty well done to them getting this far, getting to the World Cup in general. I think it's their first ever World Cup that they've been involved now. Spain, the European winners here as well, winning the Euros last time round. Yeah, you'd expect the team that's got Lamine Yamal and Rodri, players like that in the squad, you'd expect them to walk all over Cape Verde in this game. Then the odds for the game is a 1-9 for the Spain win, 12-1 for the draw, and 28-1 for the Cape Verde win. Matt.
Yeah, I think Spain should probably win this game quite comfortably. Although Cape Verde have actually got a few decent European players in their team who plays in the European leagues. So maybe people underestimate a little bit, even though it is their first tournament. Maybe they could actually get third, who knows? But I think Spain will have a little bit too much for them. And we don't know if Yamal will be playing the first game in this tournament because he was injured before. So I think it all depends on that if they win this comfortably. But assuming he is, but yeah, again, we're not sure. I'll still go for a Spain win, and I'll say 2-0 Spain.
Yeah, I'll go 3-0 Spain. I can see them. They've just got way too much quality in that team to not predict a Spain win. What would be a bigger upset then, Matt? I know obviously you'd probably end up saying Cape Verde. Cape Verde beating Spain 1-0, or the Saudi Arabia win against the eventual winners in Argentina?
I'll probably say Cape Verde based on this being their first tournament.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Talking about Saudi Arabia, then they are here on Monday the 15th of June at 11 p.m. And they're taking on Uruguay. 1 draw and 1 win for Uruguay. The most recent one was in 2018 World Cup. Then 1-0 win for Uruguay there. The odds for this game, if I can get it up here. There we are. 9-20 for the Uruguay win, 7-2 for the draw, and 15-2 for the Saudi Arabia win. Matt?
Yeah, I think Saudi Arabia could make it hard for Uruguay. Like what happened in the last World Cup, Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, so we can definitely do the same to Uruguay. We got a few decent Saudi players with experience now, so I think they may do slightly better than the last World Cup, but it's still a hard group for them to get past. And Uruguay got quite a good defense, Valverde in there. Only problem with them is the reliance on Darwin Núñez up front, which I don't think will be enough for them to get the semis. They'll probably get to around the 16 or quarterfinals, but I still think with our attack they'll get much further. So with this game, I still think Uruguay will win, but I don't think it'll be really comfortable. But I'll say 2-0 Uruguay.
Yeah, I'll go 1-0 Uruguay. Yeah, enough said. It wouldn't surprise me if Saudi Arabia does end up winning this game, like they did against Argentina in the last one. But you've got to back Uruguay here. Moving on then to France versus Senegal here in Group I then. Senegal with one win head-to-head wise back in the 2002 World Cup. And it was 1-1 win there. Moving on to the odds, 7-1 for the Senegal win, 7-2 for the draw, and 10-21 for the France win. Matt?
Yeah, I think with France's quality in their team, I think they probably will get a few goals in this game. But Senegal themselves, we got a few decent players, especially from the last World Cup. Mane, I think that Eduardo Mendy still plays for in goal. But apart from that, if you're talking about quality, France got so much depth as well. There's like a Mbappe, Cherki, Elise. I think overall, I think it'll be a little bit too much for Senegal. So I'll say 3-1 France.
Okay, I'm so glad you said 3-1 because I'm going 2-1 France. Again, same as you. I agree with everything you just said for them, and I do think France just has the better quality in that squad. One of the best, if not the best squad at the 26 World Cup this year. Then moving on then to the next game, and it is Iraq versus Norway. Surely we're going to a Norway win here. No head-to-head that we can go through here. 14-1 for the Iraq win, 6-1 for the draw, and 2-1 for the Norway win. Matt?
Yeah, I think Norway will probably win this comfortably against Iraq, who I don't even know many of their players, to be fair. I probably couldn't even name one. But that's the thing about these games. You just don't know about one team, and then they can surprise a few. But I think with Norway's performances, being Italy in the qualifiers and top in that group, I think they probably will get to at least around a 16 in this World Cup. So for prediction, I'll say 2-0 Norway.
Okay, I'll go 1-0 Norway. Again, Haaland's probably the one going to get the goal. Let's be real with that one. Moving on then to the next game and the next group, and it is Argentina up against Algeria in Group J. One win for Argentina then, and that came in a friend, and it was a 4-3 win for Argentina back in 2007. If we have a look at the odds, then it is a 2-5 for the Argentina win, 15-4 for the draw, and 17-2 for the Algeria win. This is on Wednesday, 17th of June at 2 a.m. Matt?
Yeah, I think Argentina will be, of course, looking to get back-to-back World Cup wins. And they have got a decent team overall. Of course, Messi still going. I think he'll score a few goals. They got Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez, Enzo. Defense is a little bit questionable, but they still got Martinez and Romero. But I'm sure we'll probably see Romero red card in this tournament, which wouldn't surprise me. But Algeria themselves have got a few decent players, but I still think it's on the same level as Argentina. But the thing about Argentina, I don't think, well, of course they did win the last World Cup, but they are sort of wasteful in ways with Lautaro Martinez. He scores goals, but he does waste chances as well. So they got to be quite clinical in this tournament if they want to win it again, as I think it'll be much harder than last time. And this, of course, really has win back-to-back. And over the past few years, about 10 years, you've seen Spain win a World Cup in 2010 and then flop in 2014. Same with Germany in 2014 and flopped in 2018. So could it happen with Argentina? I don't think so, but it could well happen. But for prediction, I'll say 1-0 Argentina.
Okay, I'll go 3-1 Argentina. And again, I can see Algeria somehow going one goal up early on as well. Moving on then to the next game, then surely we're almost there now as well. Austria Jordan. This is on the same day at 5 a.m. The odds for this game is a 1-3 for the Austria win, 9-2 for the draw, 9-1 for the away win. I believe this is Ralf Rangnick's first World Cup as the head coach of Austria as well. Matt?
Yeah, I think Austria's got a decent margin. Ralf Rangnick, he did manage in the Euros 2 years ago, but that was his first tournament with Austria, and I think against Jordan, they'll probably win comfortably, but Jordan, not really too much to know about him, and Austria have got a better squad balance than Jordan, so I'll say 2-0 Austria.
Okay, I was gonna go 2-0 Austria. I'll go 1-0 Austria. I can still see them getting the job done over Jordan there. Moving on then to the next game, and it's Portugal up against DR Congo then. Final 4 games to go. This is also on the same day at 6 p.m. No head-to-heads to go through there. 2-7 for the Portugal win, 5-1 for the draw, and 12-1 for the DR Congo win. Again, Cristiano Ronaldo, I believe this is going to be his final World Cup as well. And yeah, they're going to be up for it. They've got some really class players in that team, like Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Diaz, Diogo Costa in goal. Who else now? Rafael Leao. So yeah, Matt.
Yeah, of course, this is the first World Cup for DR Congo, and like many of the other nations who haven't really been in the World Cup for years or ever, people will be looking to see if any of them will surprise any of us and get through to the round of 32. But I mean, I'm sure one of these new nations who have entered the World Cup, or at least one of them, will probably surprise some of us, and maybe Congo could be one of them, but who knows? They got a hard game against Portugal, of course, got a stacked midfield, Vitinha, João Gomez, Fernandes. It's arguably the best midfield of every other nation. So I think a lot of people expect Portugal to be at least comfortable, and I think they will. I'll say 3-0 Portugal.
Okay. Yeah, you'd expect Portugal to win, and I do. Most of them do think that they will win, but again, as you mentioned, there is normally a team that pulls out all the shocks and pulls off the unexpected, and I'm going with one of them now. I am going with a 1-0 DR Congo win. Surprise package there. I know people are going to call me delusional. I know. I don't care. It's just predictions at the end of the day, and no one would have expected Saudi Arabia. I know that they've got a better squad than DR Congo, but no one would have expected Saudi Arabia to beat Argentina back then in the last World Cup, and they did. Again, I would happily Portugal win and me gone for a surprise package here than predicted Portugal to win and then DR Congo end up winning. So yeah, I'll go 1-0 DR Congo for this one. Moving on then to the next game, and we're going to go on to the final game in this group, and it is Uzbekistan versus Colombia. Thought I'd gone a bit too far down there. Uzbekistan versus Colombia, and this is on the 18th then. So this is the very, very last game on match day 1, and it is on Thursday, the 18th at 3 a.m. And we've got 17-2 for the Uzbekistan win. We've got 2-5 for the Colombia win, and 37-10 for the draw. Again, on paper, you'd expect the Colombia win, Matt. Can't hear you, Matt.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people probably expect Colombia to win this game against another new nation in the World Cup, although we got one player I know is Shamuradov, the striker. I think he did play for Rome. I'm not sure if he's there anymore, but they got Kusanov as well from Manchester City. So that's two players like people probably should know. I'm not sure about Shamuradov, but a lot of people know Kusanov. Colombia, James Rodriguez, of course, won a Golden Boot in 2014. Still got a real good squad, and I think they will win this. So I'll go for I'll say 2-1 Colombia.
Okay, why not? 2 shocks in one group. Uzbekistan 2, Colombia 1. Don't put it past Uzbekistan from picking up a win over Colombia. I think the most realistic one would be a draw, or obviously the Colombia win. But let's go out there and have 2 shockers in that group. Let's go to the midnight game then on Thursday, midnight. Ghana versus Panama then. And this game is 23-20 for the Ghana win, 5-2 for the draw, and 14-5 for the away win. Again, you'd expect Panama to finish bottom of the group. You'd expect Ghana to walk away with an easy win here, Matt.
Yeah, I think Panama will also finish bottom. Of course, win the last. They're either in the last World Cup or win in 2018. I remember they played England in that tournament, but they didn't do very well there, and I don't expect them to do much in this tournament either. And Ghana got a few good players. Semenyo was standout. I think, like I said yesterday, he'll bag a few goals in this tournament, and Ghana, I think they will get to at least round of 32, maybe even a round of 16, depending on who they face. But for this game, I think they will win this by ease, so I'll say 3-0 Ghana.
Okay, and I'll go 4-0 Ghana. And then that leaves one last game, the best till last. England up against Croatia in a 2018 World Cup semi-final rematch. Obviously, we all know what happened then. Obviously, Croatia ended up winning that game in the end to go to the World Cup final against France. 5 wins for England, 1 draw and 3 wins for Croatia. Last time these two actually did play was a 1-0 win for England in the 21 Euros. Time before that was a 2-1 win for England back in the Nations League in 2018 as well. So obviously England does have Croatia's number unless it comes to the World Cup. And the odds for this game is 3-4 for the England win, 29-10 for the draw, and 4-1 for the Croatia win. Everyone would expect this game to have been if this game was the last group game, then it would have just made it even more better. But it's the first game, Matt.
Yeah, I think England recently haven't really been performing that well. I know they. Who was a friendly against they played the other day? I know they won 1-0. Yeah, it wasn't really convincing, but I think this is the time now they need to start performing to their standards if they want to win a World Cup. Croatia is quite a hard game. I know the squad's aging, but they're still a good team overall. Still got players like Modric, who's been there for years. And a lot of people did question Thomas Tuchel's choices in his World Cup squads. Players like Wharton, Gibbs White missing out, even Maguire. I know he's not like a standout who's not gone to a World Cup, but he's still got important goals in the last 2 World Cups for England and the Euros. So they are like weird, like why he hasn't chosen them. But if it does pay out, I don't think many England fans will be complaining. But for this game, I think it'll be quite ugly, and Croatia will probably take the lead. But I think England will probably come back and win 2-1.
Okay. Yeah. On paper, this squad. It's good that Tuchel's wanting to give the youngsters a go, but you've got to bring on more experience, and I don't mean Jordan Henderson experience. I mean the players who are actually putting a really good shift. Like Harry Maguire, when does he have a bad game for England? I can't remember the last time he actually had a bad game for England. But yeah, on paper, this squad does not even get past the round of 16 in the World Cup. I'd love them to prove me wrong, and obviously go and win the entire thing, but I just can't see it happening. But yeah, for this game, it is tough. I was stuck between two predictions at the start, between a 1-0 England or a 2-1 England. But obviously, with you taking a 2-1 England, I will go with 1-0. But then, yeah, that is going to wrap it up then for match day 1 of the World Cup. In future for the World Cup videos, we'll try and cut it shorter than it has tonight. I did not expect it to go on for this long. But yeah, we'll try and minimize our talking points about each team. But yeah, do leave your score predictions in the comments down below. Let me know if you think there will be any shocks happening in match day 1. Do leave a like, subscribe if you're new as well, and we'll see you in the next one.